Y'all, I didn't think my excitement levels could get any higher. Dave Filoni just directed the best episode of The Mandalorian thus far. This is your spoiler warning. Spoilers for The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, Chapter 13, The Jedi. Oh my god. So right off the bat, we are introduced to Ahsoka Tano, played by Rosario Dawson, in the greatest opening sequence the show has had so far. And it has had a ton of glorious opening sequences. Wow. I cannot stress enough how much I love the look of her. Her double-bladed white sabers are gorgeous. I love that. Now, Dave Filoni, who did direct this episode, if you did not know, is responsible for creating the character of Ahsoka Tano in the Star Wars, the Clone Wars movie and TV franchise. And he just masterfully crafted this live-action version of her. The character's already well established within the Clone Wars and within Rebels, and she is just a beloved character, and she is amazing in this show. Rosario Dawson captured so much of the essence of Ahsoka, and it was just, there was not a moment that I was like, oh, it's Rosario Dawson. It was always, there's Ahsoka. So obviously the whole second season is leading up to this moment. The Mandalorian is tasked on finding the Jedi so that he can basically give over the child to them so that he can start his actual training. And that's what we thought. But in this episode, it is given to us that the child has been actually taught by several other Jedi Masters. And, he's obviously an older creature. He might look young. He might still be, a toddler. But he's actually been training for, I'll say several years, but maybe we'll say several decades. Who knows? And that's awesome. Now, not only did we get some insight on his past, but they finally have revealed the true name of the child, Grogu. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the more I heard it, it's a little bit ridiculous, but I'm sure it will grow on me. I've just been so used to hearing Baby Yoda, the child, that now that I'm hearing Grogu, I'm like, I don't know, it's a bit weird. But I love how they have also gone into the fact that the child, Grogu, has imprinted on the Mandalorian and that he sees Mando as a father figure. And I love that because that's very apparent, when you watch the episode or you watch the series as a whole. Baby Yoda trusts the Mandalorian with his life. I mean, with every ounce of his being, he's being protected and shuttled around by this Mando. And I love how Ahsoka's just like, he sees you as a father figure. I also love that Ahsoka, in a sense, can understand what Grogu is saying. And there's a moment at the end when Ahsoka is sending them off to a Jedi temple, and it's almost as if Grogu thanks Ahsoka for allowing him to continue his journey with the Mandalorian. There was this feeling I had. I don't know if that was apparent to anybody else. Did anybody else notice that the child was a lot more vocal in this episode? There was these grunting noises that I feel like I've never heard the child make, and he made them throughout the entire episode over and over again. Like you get the occasional cooing or whatever, the that kind of cooing. But this episode, he was just like like snorting of sorts. I don't know. I noticed that right off the bat. I was like, he's very talkative this episode. Another thing, we're getting some mentions of, other characters. We have a name drop of Master Yoda, Jedi Master Yoda. As Ahsoka says that she's only seen one of his kind before, and she immediately recognizes that the child is one of that. At first, when she said Grogu, I thought that was going to be the species of Yoda finally being revealed, but thankfully they're going to keep that a secret for now. Another thing is when Ahsoka is basically telling the Mandalorian that she can't train him because there's a lot of fear inside of the child. A lot of his memories are fading, and a lot of his training has faded, and he doesn't really remember much. He was hidden away. He was taken away from the temple, basically when the Empire was, I'm guessing, during Order 66. And he was hidden. And she says, there's so much fear in him, it's better if he just grows out of it. That he grows up and his training fades from him and he goes on and lives a normal life, because she knows what fear can do to the best of us. In reference to her master, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Loved that. That was such... People are waking up upstairs. I apologize for the creaking. That was such a powerful moment, and you could see it in her demeanor that she is definitely not over it, and she's never going to be over it. She's never going to be over that the man who she trusted the most, the man who truly was the best of them, the chosen one, ended up going to the dark side. And you could see the pain in her that still resonates. This episode, just as a whole, seeing Ahsoka with, as I mentioned at the beginning, the two, it looked like this, right? I mean, it looked like white blades, meaning that, is it a rogue Jedi that has the white blades, or a gray Jedi? Maybe that's what it is. A rogue gray, a gray rogue. Anyway, they have these white lightsabers, and it just looked amazing. The fights were incredible. Seeing this episode was just gorgeous. Like what would you call it? Like the Zen garden that the supreme leader, whatever the character, I can't remember. I don't know if she's a character from the animation or anything like that, or from any of the books, but the woman who was basically had control over this small village, that whole Zen garden was amazing, and that fight was incredible. And then at the very end, hearing Admiral Thrawn's name mentioned, I mean, it was a huge thing for Thrawn to be brought over into the animation in Rebels. That was huge. People love Thrawn. And hearing his name be dropped in this series, and knowing that there is a large possibility that we'll be seeing a live action Thrawn, is super exciting. This episode was everything I wanted it to be. But cool things are coming, man, and so much. I mean, so I'm going to pass the questions on to you. What did you think of this episode of The Mandalorian? Put all of your theories and opinions and what have you in the comments down below. And before you leave, I want to ask you to head over to my channel and peruse around and see if there's anything else you like. I do haul videos, I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, I just do all sorts of stuff. I'll also do nerdy news. So if you want to catch up on the previous weeks in pop culture, I have a show for that. I greatly appreciate it. But guys, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Peace.